I know who I am. I love who I am. I daily improve and grow. I am self-motivated and always inspired to excel. I have a clear vision. I have hope and faith. I believe in myself and my dreams. I am purpose-driven. My gifts and abilities are activated. I operate with full efficiency. I sweatlessly triumph in all things. I create the future of my dreams. I am daily transformed and translated. I operate supernaturally. I activate my divinity. I am practical and real. I have the ability to attain, consolidate, and aspire to new levels of success, wealth, and well-being. I positively critique and review my position and situation for improvement. I advance and grow daily. I am empowered to be all that I was created to be. Hi, I'm the Catalyst, and my name is Lanre Olusola. I transform lives by transforming minds, and welcome to the Transformation Show. Today, I'm going to be speaking to you about the Life Assessment Wheel, otherwise known in the coaching parlance as the Wheel of Life. And the entire Transformation Show is based on one of my favorite versions of the life audit or life assessment or life wheel. So just join me and let's go through it. So my favorite tool, the life assessment wheel or wheel of life, is the one that has the 12 spokes. And the 12 spokes speak to 12 critical areas of life. These 12 critical areas of life encompass every single dimension of daily existence, from home and family to relationships, intimate relationships and marriage, to your health, your well-being, and your fitness. It also speaks to your money, your finance, and your ability to create wealth. It speaks to another area of your life, your self-worth, your self-esteem, your self-confidence, and your self-belief. It also covers the area of your fun, recreation, and rest. It speaks to the area of your work, your career, your business as well. It speaks to your friendship and your social networks. It highlights your passion, your purpose, and your personal aura and energy. It highlights your spirituality and security. It speaks to your overall achievement and success in life. And finally, it speaks to your peace and contentment. Now, when we talk about home and family, what are we really talking about? For some people, home and family means me as a husband, my wife, and my children. From other people, home and family speaks to the husband, the wife, the children, the cousins, the extended members of their family. So whatever home and family means for you, when you use the life assessment wheel, you're supposed to do an assessment. You're supposed to rate it and rank it on a scale of 0 to 100. What is the quality of your home and family? Is it peaceful? Is it harmonious? And so just follow us as we work with home and family during some of these episodes. When we work on your intimate relationships and marriage, we're talking about the quality of your marriage. We all know today that 1 in 2 marriages is failing, ending up in divorce. As a first-time attempt, second-time attempts at marriages is ending up 62% of them are ending up in divorce. And at the third attempt, 73% of all marriages is ending up in divorce. So we know that marriages are failing. And this is simply for different reasons, from ignorance to not understanding each other, to not knowing each other, to not being kind and compassionate and empathic towards each other, to not being forgiving, to the issues of lack of emotional intelligence. So there are many reasons why many marriages are failing. And on each episode, right, you're going to be watching some of our coaches work on intimate relationships and marriages. What about your health, your well-being, and your fitness. We believe that health is wealth. We believe that your psychology affects your biology. We believe that your sociology also affects your biology. What does that mean? It means that your health, your well-being is affected by your environment and how you relate with your environment. We also believe that the way that you interpret what goes on around you, within you, also affects your health. So as life coaches, we look at health and well-being from a holistic perspective. And on one of the episodes, we're going to be focusing on health, wellness, and fitness. When we talk about money, when we talk about finance, when we talk about wealth, we're not just talking about cash. We're looking at your finance from a holistic perspective. We're looking at your income, your inflows. We're looking at your expenditure and your outflows. We're looking at your savings, your assets, your investments. We're looking at whether you've got an emergency fund. We're looking at, your finances from a holistic perspective. And on one of the episodes, you will be seeing a coach work on finance and wealth. Another area that we're looking at is your self-worth, your self-confidence, and your self-belief. We believe as life coaches that, this is the secret cocktail to success. Without a sense of self-worth, without a sense of self-belief and self-confidence, it will be absolutely impossible for you to succeed. And so one of our coaches in one of our episodes is going to be working on self-confidence. Now, the important thing is that you follow and you see each episode as a gift from us to you, as a coaching session, so that you can also follow and you can get coached, even though you're watching the reality show. And that's why the Transformation Show is one very, very critical and important reality show that you cannot afford to miss. Then we move to fun, recreation, and rest. This is a very, very critical area of need. Each person should be sleeping for a minimum of 7 hours a day. If not, in your latter years, you're going to be struggling with memory loss and the Alzheimer's disease. That's right. You don't want to work so hard during your lifetime, and then at the latter stages of your life, you lose your memory of what essence is all of the hard work. So it's important that you incorporate sleep, 7 hours a day. It's important that you incorporate rest into your daily living. It's important that you incorporate fun and recreation. It's important that you do what you love. It's important that you love what you do. So how much fun and recreation do you incorporate into your life on a daily, on a weekly, on a monthly, or on a yearly basis? One of our coaches is going to be working with a client or a coachee in the area of fun, recreation, and rest. Look out for that episode. Also, on the Transformation Show, I personally and another coach, we're going to be working with a client in the area of their business. And when we talk about business success, it is so deep, it's so vast, it's so wide. And there are many techniques, there are many protocols, there are many methodologies and tools that you can deploy. Now, there are different people at different stages in their business evolution. There are different critical issues and different needs and pain points that different entrepreneurs have. And so we're going to be looking at business coaching. Also, within this, element of life is we're going to be looking at career coaching. One of our coaches is, they call her the career doctor. She's going to be working with another client in the area of career. Now, at what level are you in your career? Are you at the beginning of your career? Are you at the cross point? Are you, transition into executive role? What area are you at? What stage are you at? And what phase are you at in your career or in your business? You need a business coach or a career coach to work with you. And on the Transformation Show, you're going to be watching several episodes that speak to career coaching and business coaching. You know, we believe that you're a sum total of the people that you surround yourself with. I often say, show me your friends and your networks, and I would accurately predict your future. That's right. The sum total of people that you surround yourself with, that you hang around with, they would influence how you think. They would influence your core ideology, your beliefs and your values. And your beliefs and your values, they influence your behavior. Ultimately, they influence your habits, and ultimately they shape your life. He who walks with the wise shall be wise, and the companion of fools shall be destroyed. And this is one very, very important area that you need to take note of and you need to work on. You need to audit your friendships and your networks. Are you in the right network? Are you hanging around the right people in the direction of your life vision, your career vision, your business vision, and your mission? You know, it will be absolutely impossible for you to achieve anything all by yourself, for no man is an island by himself. And so you need to choose wisely who you hang around and the people that hang around you, especially your network in your professional and in your personal life. Watch out for that episode. We're going to be looking at discovery of purpose. That's right, your passion and your energy. Now, this is very, very important because the reason why you are alive, the reason why you still breathe, the reason why you have your being is simply because your purpose is very, very relevant. Why are you here? What is the problem that you're here to solve? What solution are you? It's important for you to do an audit. It's important for you to ask these questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What problems am I here to solve? What solution was I created to be? And who has a problem that I'm a solution to? And it's important that you dedicate your life to that, because on the backdrop of that, you find fulfillment, you find contentment, you find peace and achievement. And that speaks to two other areas on the life assessment wheel. When we speak to peace and contentment, which is the ultimate, that is what we are all chasing after. Everyone wants self-achievement. Everyone wants to be successful. Everyone wants to find happiness, peace, contentment, and satisfaction. That is what we chase after. And until every area of your life is in harmony, it will almost be impossible for you to find ultimate achievement, fulfillment, satisfaction in line with peace and contentment. I want to speak to spirituality and security. And when I speak to this, right, I usually like to ask, if you had the Job experience, if you lost every single thing just like Job, you lost your health, you lost your home, you lost your family, you lost your money, you lost your job, you lost your home, you lost your self-confidence, you lost every single thing. How secure would you feel on a scale of 0 to 100? And this points us in the direction of the God factor. Do you absolutely put your trust in God? Do you have faith in God's ability to give you hope and to enable you to start all over again, just as it happened with Job? This helps us realize whether you have an intimate and a personal relationship with your Creator. And so, the wheel of life, in my own opinion, is one of the coach's most powerful tool. And on the Transformation Show, Olusola is going to be working with Ekwase, and they're going to be working on the area of spirituality and security. Janet Adetu is going to be working with Elizabeth Inter, and they're going to be working on the area of self-worth, self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-belief. In this season, and in one episode, Tolu Afonja is going to be working with Ikwo Okpo in the area of intimate relationships and marriage. Also, in one of the episodes, Emeka Iziogu is going to be working with Damilola Adekoya. They're going to be working in the area of health, wellness, and wholeness. Chukwudi Williams, another coach, is going to be working with Bumi Ajayi, and they're going to be looking at the area of business coaching. Yes, and the business coaching is going to relate to her finding her purpose and her doing what she believes is her purpose. How does she convert her purpose into business and business into purpose, such that she's able to, find fulfillment in what she's doing. In my own coaching session on this, in this season, in an episode, I'm going to be working with Toyosi in the area of business. That's right. I'm going to be coaching her in the area of business. You need to look out for that session. I was so fulfilled coaching Toyosi in that episode. Banker Shotomi is going to be working with Obianuju, and they're going to be working in the area of peace and contentment. Kemi Oye, the career doctor, is going to be working with Komomo in the area of her career. Kemi Oye is the career doctor. Vinion Ramos is going to be working with Mary in the area of fun, recreation, and rest. Eden Onwuka is going to be working with Omotsome in the area of achievement and success. Yeti Williams is going to be working with Kemi Aso in the area of home and family. So many years ago, I was overweight. I was about 16 kg overweight. And I needed to lose all of that weight because I was slow, I was sluggish, I wasn't agile, I wasn't on top of my game. And I sought for different, fitness coaches, and I found this incredible young man called Maje. And Maje, alongside a few other fitness coaches, worked with me. They drilled me. They took me by the hand and they empowered me to take the reins of my fitness in my hands. And guess what? I lost all of those weight. That's right. And that's why I'm going to be having a conversation with Maje. Maje is not going to be coaching anyone. Maje is going to be talking to me that he has coached, that he has worked with. We dropped all that weight, but it wasn't about the weight. It was about the discipline. It was about the mental agility. It was about the mental discipline. It was about the mental resilience. Your mind and your body are one and the same system. They are connected. You can get to the mind from the body, and you can get to the body from the mind. And health and wellness and fitness is very key to your productivity. It's very key to your performance. It's very key to your profitability. In this episode, right, Maje, on the flip side, also talks about how I helped him with his mental health. He helped me with my physical health, and I helped him with his mental health. And you would see the results. I lost a lot of weight. I've come out, to look as slim and as fit as I am. I'm not looking my age. And, I've gone on to, to apply discipline, prudence, determination, resilience in other aspects of my life. But he also turned his situation around because he was in a bad place. And I was able to help him, change his mindset and build his mental resilience. And then he went on to birth the Heat Squad, which is what he works with now. Welcome to the Transformation Show, and enjoy this episode as I speak to Maje on health, wellness, and fitness. Wow, welcome to the Transformation Show, Maje.
Thank you, thank you.
Awesome.
So good to be here, so good to be here. Can I tell you?
Yeah.
This is exciting. This is exciting. Oh my God,
Awesome.
People need this. So many people going through so much, and I think it's important they know that this is available to them. So thank you.
All right, fantastic. And so if you're wondering who Maje is, Maje has been, very instrumental in my health, my well-being, in my fitness over the last 10 years. I've always relied on him, advice to coach and to guide and to drill me, during those times when falling off the truck. You put on weight, you're not driven, you're not motivated. He's coached me through it. So thank you very much, Maje. And we're going to be talking today about the importance of having a coach, a fitness coach, a mental health coach, and someone to hold you accountable.
Yes.
Especially as it pertains to your health, your well-being, and your fitness.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did the journey really start for you in terms of fitness? I know that we've talked about several times, the journey into coaching, but fitness.
Yeah.
How did the journey start for you? What really drove you into wanting to be fit? And how did that transition into something that became, big business?
That's actually a pretty interesting question. It sounds simple, and my answer will explain that, because one of the things that actually prevents people from exercising is that they're just unfamiliar with it. It just hasn't been a part of their lives. I was very fortunate in that I grew up active. I grew up with sports and exercise in my life. First of all, through my father, who was an avid tennis player. He was obsessed with tennis. So I would follow him to the tennis club and I'd watch him play. I would get tennis lessons as well. But more importantly, at the school level, sports and exercise was mandatory, which is kind of missing these days. It's no longer mandatory at the school level. And this is one of the things that my organization is actually trying to impact in education. We went on school tours, teaching them about the importance of exercise and stuff, because that stays with you. It keeps you wanting to be active, and that familiarity has stayed with me. So it's always been a natural state for me to want to exercise, to seek it out, to want to stay in shape and stay fit. And also because I love playing sports till today. So I like to feel strong. I like to feel, and I like to be injury free. So it was familiar to me. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have that familiarity. So exercise just seems like something that other people do. And that's why it's important for us to try to coach people out of this mindset and make it more familiar to them. So my desire to be fit just came from my childhood. I've always been active, and I will be as active as long as I can be.
And how did you transition from, just doing it for self into, moving it into a business?
When I discovered this fitness and wanting to actually make it my profession, something came alive in me, and I realized that this was my purpose. I realized that my purpose, my reason for being here, was to impact lives, was to change lives, was to transform lives, was to transform a nation. Because my mission is to raise the life expectancy of the average Nigerian.
Wow.
That's it. And I realized this early on. Because the moment I started this, let me try and put it a different way. I tried different things, and a lot of doors would kind of open and close again, and a lot of no's and a lot of barriers. But the moment I started on this path, on this journey, doors started to open. And I knew that this was the right thing. And there was a conviction from within. There was a self-assuredness. There was confidence. There was a belief in myself that this was the right path. So when you have that driving you and you are driven with purpose, turning it into a business is almost a natural step, but you still got to do the work. You still got to understand the principles of business to make it work, but it was born out of passion. It was born out of it being a purpose. So yeah, I was able to turn it into a business because where we are in Nigeria as well, we're still at the very early stages of an exercise culture. It's still very early, still the minority that actually exercise. So there's still a long way to go. And I came in at a time, very fortunately, when it was just beginning to change. You know, exercise was slowly beginning to become a culture. Any of you that's ever been running in Lagos on Lekki Bridge would know that there was 10 years ago, there was none of that. Now, hundreds of people are running, you know, and that's partly because it's becoming a culture. So
you move from vanity to passion, from passion to purpose, and you took that purpose into business. I want us to break that journey down so that people don't lose this thing that we're talking about.
Because that was a lot in that little thing.
Yes. Yeah. So vanity is about how do I look? That's easy peasy. I want to look good. How did you move it from vanity to purpose? So from vanity to passion, right? And how did you move it from a passion to purpose? And how do you transition from purpose into building the business that it is today?
Okay. I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Okay. So it started being about me. Okay. As I said, vanity. But when I started to see the impact it was having on myself, and I started to look around and I started to see that other people could benefit from this. Other people can learn from this, because look at what it's done for me. You know, it's exercise, fitness, what I do saved my life in many ways. In very, very challenging periods in my life, it helped me. You know, I was going through a very dark period, and at the same time, I was trying to set up a location where I could train people. And the process of waking up every morning at 5 a.m. to train other people ended up training myself. I started training myself with discipline. I started to feel the effects on me, physically and mentally. I started to become a lot clearer about what I wanted to do. And I thought, you know what? Other people need to feel this. And so that's where it stopped becoming about me and started becoming about other people. And where it started to transition into business was when I stopped making it about money.
Like, wait, let's break that down.
Let's back it up a little.
I thought business is about making money. I thought purpose is about not making money. It's about ministry. It's about doing those things. Let's break this thing down.
Okay, so when it was about money, then it was about making ends meet. It was about paying my bills. It was about, you know, just running my life. As I started to transition into this being a purpose and a ministry and a mission, I understood that the only way I could truly grow was to stop making it about how much I'm earning. And I'll tell you how that's possible, because I had to do a lot of pro bono work. I had to give a lot. And I had to make my life more about giving than what I receive. So I had to be ready to delay gratification. I had to be ready to, you know, live below my means. I had to stop being about what other people saw, because a lot of what we do out here is so visual and keeping up appearances and showing people that we are making it in life. And the moment you stop caring about proving to other people that you're making it is when you can really start making it. So it stopped being about what I was getting and started being about what I was giving. And that's where it really started to change. This wasn't a business strategy, by the way, but that's just how it happened.
You stumbled on it.
Yeah.
And it's worked for you.
It's worked for me. It still works for me. I'll still take a lot of jobs that don't pay me what they should, but now I also know my value. So I know I still get the big paying jobs as well. So.
Fantastic. Let's talk about what you do and how you do what you do. I value exercise. I exercise 6 days a week. You know, a lot of people tell me when they hear how old I am, they don't believe, you know, and when they see all the things that I do, on a daily basis and that I've consistently done for over 20 years, they ask me, how do you do it? And I know of a certainty that it's exercise.
Yes.
It's that discipline. It's that self-denial. It's that ability to eat right. It's that ability to work out. It's that ability to stay strong mentally, emotionally, psychologically. It's that understanding, that mind and body, they are one and the same system. They complement, they complete, and they work together, for the good of each other.
Yes.
Now, let's go into what you do, physical exercise. What sort of exercise should people be doing?
Yeah.
And why should they be doing those sorts of exercises? What are the benefits of those exercises?
Yeah.
Imagine there's someone out there, right? Imagine there's someone out there that is asking you, Maje, I don't want to go to the gym. I want 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes of workout all by myself.
Yeah.
What can I do?
Excellent question. And again, this is a situation with a lot of people. The majority of people have this situation. I don't want to go to the gym. How can I exercise? How can I make it? How can I make this work? And my first statement back would be, where do you place exercise in your mind? Should I say my first question would be, where is exercise in your mind as a priority? Because it starts in your mind. It starts in your decision that this is what you want to do. People say, yes, I want to start exercising, but they really aren't that committed to it. This is where the discipline you talked about comes in. And I'll just tell them real simple. What do the top CEOs in the world have in common? What is it? What do they do? Most of them, majority of them, 90% of them, exercise is mandatory in their lives. They will be disciplined, they will get up and they will do it. They will start their days with exercise, regardless of how busy they are, because they require it for energy. So I will ask you, tell me about your day. What is an average day like for you? What time are you waking up in the morning? What sort of things do you do in the morning? Before I even tell them the importance of exercise, I'll ask them that question. And most times than not, exercise is not even on the list of things that they do in the morning. They will get up, they will be in the office, or they will be at work before they've even mentioned anything active. And I'll say therein lies the problem. So forget about the gym. Start off with body weight exercises. You can challenge yourself as you are. So I'll give you a routine of just 4 moves.
Fantastic.
Just 4 basic moves that will work on your strength and work on your heart health, your cardiovascular. Okay? So you'll start off with, I'll get the blood flowing, because a lot of people try to stretch when they're cold and can end up actually damaging yourself. So I would do what I call a pulse raiser, something to get your blood moving, your blood flowing, your heart rate up. Jumping jacks. So easy to do. So simple. Everyone can do it. There's a beginner version and there's a slightly more advanced version. You do a minute of jumping jacks. I like to work in time as opposed to repetitions. You do a minute of jumping jacks. Okay? That's for your heart health. Then I'll move to strength. The strength move. And most of your strength is in your legs. So we'll do a minute of squats. Then we'll move back to another cardiovascular activity. We'll do a minute of mountain climbers. All right. All of these are compound moves that will challenge your entire body. We were working on your legs, working on your core, which is responsible for so much of your movement. If you have, especially if you're somebody that works in an office or sit down a lot, you might find you have a lot of lower back pain. That can be as a result of what you do, and also as a result of having a weak core. You don't have a strong core. So one of the exercises, mountain climbers, will actually work on that. And then we'll finish off with some push-ups because you need that upper body strength. And again, all these moves are functional moves. They represent the kind of moves that you would make on a day-to-day basis. I mean, you think about squats, you think about picking up laundry to hang it up. Think about push-ups. You think about your mountain climbers. All these things are all moves that you would make on a day-to-day basis. So it's about being functional. And then the next step, once you can get those workouts, so these are all just 1 minute moves, 4 moves for 1 minute. That's 4 minutes. You repeat that twice, that's 8 minutes. You take a 1 minute break after a round, that's a 10-minute workout. Wow. And you start your day. 10 minutes of your day. Who can't do that?
And that brings to mind, one of the books that I just launched, Good to Better. And I said, if you can find those 5 minutes, those 10 minutes in between, your activities, just to get your blood pumping, just to ease you of that sedentary lifestyle, that will amount to, if you do it 3 times, you do it 4 times in the day, that amounts to 40 minutes.
Absolutely.
50 minutes of exercise. So if you were challenging anyone out there about their mental health, if you were challenging anyone out there about how to use their physical fitness and exercise to build their mental health, what are you going to say to them?
I am going to tell them that exercising it's not enough to start with your 10 minutes in the day and then that's it. Okay? I challenge you to be active throughout your days. I challenge you to do things for yourself. I understand that it's nice in a country where labor is affordable and you can send people to do things for you, but do them yourself. I challenge you to walk more. Invest in a pedometer. Look at this. I have a Fitbit, okay? Most phones now, smartphones, you can download apps. Measure your steps. It is recommended that you take 10,000 steps a day, okay? A day. This is a fantastic way to put yourself in check and to check yourself, all right? It's recommended you take 10,000 steps a day. Invest in a step counter so you can measure how many steps you've taken in a day. You see how far you've fallen short each day. And you just make sure you hit those 10,000 steps. You do that for a month and get back to me and tell me how you feel. That alone, just walking, is an amazing and powerful tool. Just walking. Learn to walk. Walk around. If you get phone calls, take them standing up. Walk around. Walk more. Get those steps in. The strongest I've ever felt was when I was walking regularly. So if you can do your 10,000 steps, I recommend at least 2 good walks a day, in the morning and in the evening. Spend time outside, get that fresh air. And if you're stressed, do it more.
The more stressed you are, the more you should do it.
Get outside, breathe, walk.
So to round this up, Maje, if you're going to share 3 secrets, 3 powerful secrets or 3 powerful principles or 3 powerful tips as we round up the show, what will those 3 tips or those secrets or those principles be?
Okay. One principle is self-awareness. Okay. Learn who you are. Learn what you can do. Learn your strengths and your weaknesses. Very important to understand your own weaknesses, your own limitations. That's 1. 2, wield gratitude like a weapon.
Say that again.
Wield gratitude like a weapon.
Wow.
Weaponize it. It is a suit of armor that can take you through life, but you understand its application. Gratitude is such a powerful force. You wake up in the morning, understand that the fact that you are walking and talking, you've already won.
Wow.
You're already winning. That mindset has taken me through so much. Gratitude, self-awareness. And the third one is a combination. Really learn empathy. It's so important in how we treat other people, in leading with kindness, especially in leadership. I coach this to leaders in companies and stuff, and operating with empathy is so important. Soft skills are the new hard skills.
Wow. 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 So what Maje is saying is that if you want to age well, A for awareness, G for gratitude, and E for empathy. On that note, we'll call it a wrap. Thank you very much, Maje. It's the Transformation Show. See you in the next episode.
You know, I started this change direction. I started this school tour, the school fitness stuff, which had shut down because of COVID for like for 2 years. So they started again, Xavier School, and a whole bunch of other schools. So we go from school to school.
Hey, Maje, man.
Coach.
Solid conversation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so if people out there are wondering, you know, why the hell would I come and work with you? You know, why do I need a coach? Why can't I just do it myself? You know, just speak to them. Why do they need a fitness coach?
You know, I get that a lot, actually. I get a lot of people who don't see the need for it. They don't understand the value of a coach. They feel it's too expensive. They feel, you know, they can do it themselves. And I understand that. But the question I ask, why do the top performers in the world need coaches? Why does Cristiano Ronaldo need a coach? Why does LeBron James need a coach? Surely they're at the top of the game. Why does Serena Williams need a coach? Because there's always room for improvement. There's always room for growth. We can always do better. At the end of the day, we're aspirational beings. So, you know, I want to be a peak performer. I want to live my best life, as they say. And the way that I would do it is to get a coach. You know, we are accountability partners. We are your helpers. We are your guides. We are your motivation. We are your inspiration, you know. But ultimately, it's down to you. Because no matter how much I tell people about workouts, I tell them, you know, do these push-ups, do these squats, do these jumping jacks, do mountain climbers, eat right, do this. If they don't want to do it, they won't do it.
There's nothing we can do.
There's nothing you do. So it still lies with you.
I often say to people that you are the captain of your ship. You are the driver towards your destiny, and you are the master of your fate. So let's come back to you, Maje. You know, have you ever been coached?
Yes.
At what point in your life were you when you got coaching?
Wow. You know, my own coaching journey started about 10 years ago. You know, and it was at a time in my life where I was completely lost. I just lost my mother. I had no real direction. I didn't even know what my purpose was in life. And I was just basically wandering around aimlessly and very, very broken, because losing my mother was my first major loss. You know, I'd never really had any significant loss in my life up until that point. And then, of course, God had to go to the top of the food chain, right? And, you know, and at that time, my oldest sister, who you know, could see that there was something going on with me. And she said, you know what, I want to introduce you to someone, just to talk. And she introduced me to this amazing life coach. And this was my first experience with a coach. Before that, it wasn't even on my radar, which I can imagine a lot of people experience. They just don't know about this. They just don't know that this is an option in life, you know? And I think this is what one of the things that this show is going to be good for, is just creating this awareness that this is an option. This is something that you can do, especially in challenging times in life. And so I was going through a really challenging period. I got introduced to this life coach, and she sat me down over a coffee and just asked me basic questions. Just asked me about, tell me about, you know, what excites you. Tell me about what ideas you've had for moving forward in life. And I just sat there and I started telling her all these things about, oh, I'd love to set up a functioning bus system in Abuja. You know, back then, Abuja didn't have a bus system, and I had lived in Abuja. So I was like, yeah, I want to set up a functioning bus system, and I want to set up a plumbing and electrical company, you know, with the uniforms and the vans. Now, these were all great ideas. But, you know, but when I started to talk about exercise, I had an idea for exercise, about, you know, setting up an exercise brand, a workout brand. And back then, I wanted to bring in Virgin Active, you know. So And she goes, all great ideas, but when you talked about fitness and you talked about exercise, you lit up like a Christmas tree. Look at that. And I'm like, and I never looked back.
Wow.
That was a key point. And then there was you. This is the part that you don't know. You changed my life significantly, actually. You changed the trajectory of things. When I had decided to go into fitness, I really hadn't looked at the mental side of things. I was purely about the physical, the superficial. Let's get strong, let's get fit because it's good for you and you will live long. That was the breadth of my philosophy. And then I experienced you because, again, life is challenging. You get hit with all sorts of curveballs. And I went through a very, very challenging period in my life. Very public as well. And it was very dark. And I felt very alone. And in that time, in that darkness, I got a call from you. I don't know why, and maybe someday you'll tell me why you decided to just call me, but you just reached out to me at a time where I absolutely needed it because I felt so alone. And we talked, and you coached me. That phone call was a coaching session, and I just didn't even realize it, But what you taught me and what you showed me was that in your darkest times, you can create your best work. I believe this is by God's design. Where we thrive in pressure. And in my darkest period, after dealing with you, I created my best work. I created a fitness brand called The Hit Squad. Before then, it was just my company, it was Eden Lifestyle, it was all good. But I started to get creative because I started to channel what I was gaining from my workouts into my mental health. And my synapses started firing. I started getting stimulated. I started getting ideas. I started getting creative. But more importantly, I started to pull myself out of the dark. And the more conversations we had, the more clarity I got.
Wow.
So, in case you haven't figured this out yet, thank you.
Wow. So tell me about, we talk about coaching, we talk about mental health, we talk about fitness. You've talked about the impact of coaching, right?
Yes.
So you work with individuals, you work with organizations. So what's the proudest work? What's the most successful brief that you're currently working on?
Okay, look, I don't want this to be you are the amazing guy, but again, I'm going to bring this back to you. Again, you don't know this, but you introduced me to an organization very early on when I started in this business, when I started in this work. And when I started, us instructors, fitness instructors, wellness coaches, even though we weren't really wellness coaches back then, we weren't really on the radar. The prestige wasn't really there with the work. We were still looked at like, as an instructor, you're kind of the help. I told people I'm going into fitness, I'm going to be a coach, and they were like, yeah, okay, so what's the real job that you're going to be doing? So I always remembered that. And I'm like, no, this is what I'm doing. And as time went on, as my profile started to rise, I could see the looks change. I could see the perspective changing. I could see that, okay, he's actually doing something with this, And so very early on, I was just purely in fitness. And you introduced me to an organization, an American company, a wellness company. And they were one of the biggest wellness service providers at the time. And I didn't really get it at the time. I was still in the Richard Branson phase where I was like, where I was like, can you do something? And I'm like, yep, I can do it. And then I'll go learn how to do it. So you approached me with this, hey, listen, I've got this company. And I'm like, okay, sure thing. And boy, they put me through the ringer. They took me on a 3-year journey of jumping through hoops to become a service provider here in Nigeria, representing them. So we signed a partnership. You remember in London,
We
flew out to London,
okay, to sign that deal.
signed that deal with them. And I have been working with them now for, I guess, the better part of a decade. It took us 3 to 4 years of jumping through hoops before it started to make sense. I mean, it was really hard work before we even made any financial gains, any money from this work. Just getting ourselves to a place where we could provide services to the corporates in Nigeria.
So what kind of corporates have you guys work with?
Now, wow, we work with a lot of the blue chips, a lot of the oil companies, from ExxonMobil to Chevron. We work with companies like Unilever, like McKinsey.
Wow.
You know, some of the big companies, but it's a lot of it. The work is actually is providing an EAP service, which is Employee Assistance Programs. Basically, we provide mental health services to employees of these companies.
Wow.
And we go in and we try to change the internal culture of these companies. And this was not something that I planned to do. This was not my plan at the beginning. That plan changed when I met you and you introduced me to this company. They made me sweat for years. And this is the thing. This is where a lot of people lose it because they don't have the patience to understand that there is a process in life that takes time and you need to have that staying power. Any success story will tell you of a long journey to get there. You know, and this is where the power of coaching really lies, because that is what it teaches you. Without having that knowledge, I probably would have given that up some time back. But from watching you, watching where you had come from, how long you've been in this game, to get to the top. You didn't start at the top.
No.
Right? But the thing, and the problem with a lot of people, we're so afraid to be beginners. We're so afraid to look like we don't know what we're doing. Back then, I was fine with not knowing what I was doing. I was okay with that. I was there to learn. And boy, did I learn. But it turned into my biggest work, my proudest work. You know, it's not because of the nature of the work, a lot of it is confidential. So a lot of what people see is my fitness work without actually realizing that, you know, you probably work in an organization that we deal with.
Yeah, and that's really big. And so it took about 3-4 years of sweat, of patience, of, you know,
very little income.
Very little income.
Yes.
From this big deal. And this is where a lot of startup businesses fail.
Yeah.
How did you survive? You know, knowing fully well that, you know what, this is a long-term game, right? How did you survive in the 3 to 4 years? Well, what did you do?
Well, it didn't really start off with me knowing that it would be a long-term game. You know, I knew that I wanted this and I knew that I would do whatever it took. But after 6 months, I'm like, oh, this is taking a while. A year goes by, you're like, a year and a half, 2 years, then it gets really challenging. But I was very fortunate in that I started with fitness. So I really leaned into the fitness side of my business. You know, I'm like, you know what? Let's push this. Let's push the group workouts. Let's open a location in Lekki, which you used to come to with your team. You know, let's really create something here that can bring in the money, because man must chop, man must eat, you know. So I leaned on the fitness. I leaned on that work and promoting that and doing everything I could to have a clear message that I was giving to people. But I needed to have a clear message. I needed to know exactly what I was telling people. So what we were selling were body weight exercises, which we're still selling till today. And it was so far ahead of the curve, I didn't even realize this. We started talking about body weight exercises because I saw the challenges that people had. I saw the challenges that people had in Lagos with traffic, with being able to afford to go to the gym. So teach people how to work out from home. And when I realized we were ahead of the curve was when the pandemic kicked in, years later, and suddenly working out from home was the thing. Suddenly body weight exercises was the thing. And I'm like,
that's it.
That's it.
Wow.
That's it. I allowed myself to kind of pat myself on the back quietly in that little moment, you know? But it was important knowing that what I wanted to achieve with this new partnership that I had, this global partnership, knowing that it was taking time. I needed to have something that I was working on. So I put in a lot of time and energy into my fitness brand.
And that really is the key point, right? Even though you're working on a long-term game, create a middle-term goal and a short-term goal that tides you over. But most importantly, patience is master key, and discipline is also very, very key. Now, we've been having these deep conversations, right? And this is what the Transformation Show is really all about, so that you can hear from, the coaches, you can see the coaching sessions and experience the transformation. So talking about transformation, what else do you want to tell people?
I just want to just sort of lock into what you just talked about there, discipline. It's a cornerstone for so much discipline, and it's a cornerstone of success, one of the hallmarks of success. And what I try to teach people with exercise, you need discipline to exercise.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's something that it's not a choice. I've said this before, it's not a choice, it's not a luxury, it's not an option. It is mandatory, it is necessary for our survival. You must be mobile, you must be active, you must exercise. It requires discipline, but those principles that you learn in disciplining yourself to exercise absolutely spill over into the rest of your life. And that is what the power of coaching is. Coaching is not going to tell you what to do and where to do it. It gives you the tools necessary, and one of those tools is discipline.
Wow. On that note, thank you for tuning into the Transformation Show. See you in the next episode. Awesome stuff, man. Woo!
If you need a coach or therapist, or would like to train to become a certified coach or therapist, please call +234 8098 883 555 or +234 8077 077 000. Alternatively, send an email to hello@thecatalystng.com.